I think the obvious here is, man, D end, OLB-ish, we got some good depth. Inside linebacker, we got some good depth. I mean, those two spots, the safety / nickel, man, we got some depth and versatility. And because of that, that's where you draw from if something goes down in other areas.
And Dan Campbell speaking on the depth the Detroit Lions have, and again, for him speaking on it, it's something we've known. We talk about the defensive line, the depth they have, and it's always been a storyline, Flannel, that they're going to have to cut somebody that nobody wants them to cut. That's just how this works. And potentially, and I mentioned this yesterday, but Julian Okwara could be one of those guys. The Giants are making phone calls, or at least they're rumored to be making phone calls.
Breaks your heart, I bet, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm dying on that hill. I really don't
love
know.
Julian.
It's really the upside I'm interested in. I really am. And I know, like, Broder kind of mentioned this when he was on the show like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, well, he's been up and down. Again, that sounds right for Julian. And then he comes out against the Giants and has that game. It's like, it's hard. But I also understand that you're going to have to cut someone that the fans and even the coaching staff are like, ugh. That's tough.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's a good problem to have, though.
100%. You mentioned Julian Okwara, a guy who I think in a perfect world none of us would want to cut because we see the talent that he has. And I think there are a lot of rosters in which he could actually make the team and be a big contributor for him. I mean, even last year with the Lions, he did have a game with 2 sacks, and in 2021 he had 5. But he's never quite lived up to that hype that he had. And I don't know if he had a ton of hype, but he was a 3rd-round draft pick. You saw the talent in him, and he has just not been able to stay on the field. And you also look at some of the standouts from training camp from the preseason. You look at a guy like Starling Thomas. You look at a guy like Stephen Gilmore. You even look at guys like Dylan Drummond and Chase Cota. Are we sure that any of those guys will even make the 53-man roster? I think there's a chance that a couple of them do, but I also think there's a chance that none of them do.